Alright. One of the things I hate are those videos where people talk so much that it's halfway through the video before they get to the point. And I'm about to do the same thing. Never mind. Right, well, eventually I found a proper place where they would do a respray. I had to drive into the wilds of Gloucestershire, which was great fun because I took the MGA course. And it was a proper body shop, and had a long chat with the couple of blokes who came out and looked at the car and all the rest of it. And yes, they would do a respray, £10,000. Right, but they would only do a respray providing it was right back to the body shell, and that all filling and all the rest of it would be removed and replaced with their own, so that they could guarantee it. So they wouldn't do a respray on top of old paint. So things have changed. I've constantly dithering over what to do and what colours to do and all the rest of it. So at the moment, the video that's going to follow this will probably be irrelevant in places as time goes by, but I might as well show what I've done so far. I have actually worked on the bonnet again. I think I've improved it a little bit, but I've also succeeded in chipping the paint in a couple of places, so not too good. So the paintwork's going to wait till the summer anyway, and we'll see what happens. One of the things I did have done at the body shop was I had the paint scanned. I haven't been able to find out what the name of the colour is, and it doesn't match anything in any of the car body shops that sell the paint, so I couldn't gamble on it being the new racing green that was brought out, sometimes called British Racing Green 10 for some reason. I can find where to buy it at a ridiculous price of about £30 for a little spray can. So I had it scanned at a price of £30. It was quite an interesting experience. They polished two sections of the car and placed the scanner on, and eventually came up with a number. So I have that number now, and I know that I can get a matching paint made up somewhere in Bristol at the paint place. And so that was it. So on with the video. This is the gear lever knob that somebody spent £17 on. It's walnut, very nice. Had one of these plastic badges on, which I don't like, so I've taken it off. It's got damaged a bit, so I've got to do some work on it. The lacquer has got scorched and so on. It just screws onto the end of the gear lever, as you'd expect, but there's no lock nut underneath, and although it screws on quite a long way, there's still about an inch of thread still left on the gear lever, which doesn't look very nice. So what I've done is I've made up a finishing nut, I suppose you can call it, lock nut, and hide some of that thread. It's a bit fancy, but I had to finish it off somehow. And the accompanying washer, which would look okay. The only thing is it's brass, and there's nothing on the car that's brass, so I'm about to nickel plate it which I should be able to polish, and it should look quite nice underneath. On the top of the knob I'm going to replace the MG badge with a coin. Now the idea was that I put a coin in there with the date 1971 on it, but unfortunately 1971 was the year we changed to metric cash, and there's no date on the new coinage. Still, it's still a 1971 penny, and I'll let that in there, and it'll finish it off. It's a change from an MG badge. You can see the bubbles coming off. A very thin copper wire running through, so it's a minimum of touch, but as long as it completes the circuit, it's okay. I'll leave it in for about 5 minutes and have a look and see what it's like. It's hard to tell what the quality is like because put it on too fast and it gets very coarse. On the other hand, you want a decent finish and have to polish the original so that you get a chance to be able to polish the nickel plating afterwards. The 5 minutes was long enough to show the plating is okay. It's gone on quite well. Made the mistake of hanging it like that, so the underside unfortunately hasn't got as much plating as the top side. So when I continue the plating, I'll hang it up that way. Not quite so easy to hang it upright, so I've had to keep turning it. I'm now giving it 10 minutes on 5 volts. Well, there it is. Not exactly chrome plated finish, but it's still pretty good. It's quite shiny, and it's no longer brass. Well, there's the gear knob. Now no thread shows underneath. And there's the coin in the top, 1971. And as winter's coming on, I've decided that I shall do the interior of the car. And so I've removed some of the panels, and I'm going to recover them. Some of them are quite bad state. I mean, they're only made of hardboard, and this one's already broken, and they're very crudely made. This is a capping on the behind the driver's seat, and there's a terrible end here, and it's so poorly made, cheap. So I'm going to do them myself. I have checked the price for doing it, for buying one, but I couldn't find the colour I wanted anyway, and it was about £500 or £600, so I'm going to do them myself. It's not don't think that's too hard a job. I'm going to replace the mats as well. This is the one behind the pedals on the driver's side, and it's in a right mess. I mean, the card is shaped like this, but the plastic is right. I don't know. I really don't know how it's meant to be, And it is a bit of a mess under there as well. I can see some rust that I shall have to have a go at. And this is the one which is half carpet and half vinyl. And it's where the accelerator pedal is. And the foot is rubbing against this the whole time. I can't understand why the pedal is so close to the side and over the top of a square section of the bodywork. Anyway, a couple of holes in it here and various methods of holding it on. Mostly they seem to be self-tapping screws, but they're all different. Great big round-headed one. Ah well. Anyway, that's what I'm going to make a start on. I've cut off the vinyl and this is what was behind it. It looks like a stockinette type material, but actually I think it was probably padding, and you can see that it's completely deteriorated. So it was obviously put on as a separate thing. Question is, the material I order, I can buy it with the foam already attached to the vinyl, or do I do it as two separate items? I took the headrest off just to have a look and see if it was feasible to clean off the paint. Acetone shifts it instantly, except of course for all these little dimples. But it is possible. I suppose I could clean it reasonably and then respray it just like whoever did that, and select a paint to match what I'm using. I'm going back to the original colours, and the carpets are going to be brown. Autumn Leaf is the official title for it, but this looks a little bit light. I wanted to have Autumn Leaf seats and a contrast for the panelling, and I was going to use a coffee cream type of thing. It's all theoretical at the moment. Well, most of the carpets are out now, and at the moment I'm just sort of cleaning up bad areas up the front there, which I'm having a problem getting to. And I am slowly removing areas where there's a bit of surface rust. They've been pretty liberal with the underseal, but on the whole it's not too bad, except for that. My word. It's pretty bad. I think I shall have to make a new one of those. And there, got a couple of bolts here which are rusted solid, and there is a threaded piece there, so I'll have to do something about that. This silver stuff is heat resistant, and it's all surface stuff which I haven't actually attacked yet, but and this side it's a patchwork of welded sections as far as I can see, but still it's okay. And the blue colour is the adhesive, which I'm going to try and get rid of before I put any new carpets down. I've still got to get to the bottom there and get that carpet out, but it's going all right. Still, I've left the door panels on. That hole was a loosely fitted grommet, and I think some rain may have got in through there, because all along this edge here it's all a bit rusty, but it's only on the surface, and I've managed to clean a lot off already. But it goes all the way along. Still, at least I'm managing to do it from a sitting down position. Well, I eventually got the 3 bolts undone. I think this must have been on since 1971. Because it doesn't look as though those bolts have been undone. And the state of this, it's so rusty, I'm surprised it hasn't been replaced. I really needed a bolt buster, one of those fairly new tools, I believe, induction devices which heat the bolt up. However, I did come across a tip on YouTube that when you put your WD-40 or, in my case, GT85 penetrating fluid, was to add acetone. Now whether that did the trick or not, I don't know. But the way I loosened them is by putting the spanner on and a fairly heavy hammer and giving it a gentle tap to do it up and a tap to undo it, and keep on doing that backwards and forwards, hoping that you will crack the seal of the rust in the thread. And it worked. It took me a couple of hours to get the 3 out. I turned it over and it seems to have got some sort of a seal on it. And it's got this nut which is fixed on the back. And it's too bad to put back onto the car, so I'll make a new one of those. Well, the car is completely stripped inside now. And I'll have to deal with all this surface rust, and then it will be ready for the carpets. I've discovered that window isn't working properly. still. That's it. Thanks for watching.